We might want to check this out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Warsat Radio, episode 11. We're coming to you a week late. We had some technical problems. We had a special episode supposedly going to be put out for you guys with Triple D finally joining us, but the technical problems we had, it just killed it. So we're probably going to make that a special edition if I can make some sense of it. But anyway, I'm your host, COBRA, joined by always as my friend and my co-host, Eclipse.
Hey, what's going on?
We're holding it down, trying to make sense of this technically advanced world. So I'm gonna talk about something right now. Wives don't understand podcasting.
No, they don't. We just had to restart.
They don't understand, hey, this is recording that picks up sound that comes out of people's mouths. And if it doesn't make sense, we have to start again.
It picks up a lot of sound. I mean,
dog scratching, house of wolves.
I mean, we've picked up my dog walking across our hardwood floors. Her little claws just ticking along. And they, you know, the wives have to, they've gotten in their head for so long that they have to be answered the second they ask a question.
Exactly.
No matter if you're recording or not.
Put a microphone on my wife's head, she won't say a word. But if it's on my head, it's time to talk.
Yes.
But
I have tried to walk your wife, actually not tried, successfully walked your wife through a wanted bounty.
She can't control left or right either.
She would barely talk to me, but it was funny. And it's not like that in real life by no means. It was just...
Seriously, she wouldn't really talk?
Barely.
That's funny.
She had microphone anxiety.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's
controller
funny.
anxiety too.
Yeah, what happened? There was a wanted bounty we were doing, and I'm like, I need to go get a milkshake or something.
Yeah,
and
you had to go get her a milkshake. I think this was whenever she was, I think she had just had her surgery for a hernia.
Yeah.
And you went to go get her a milkshake, and you were like, okay, I'm sitting here. You know, we were already at the place, and we were just running your wanted bounties just, you know, to get you that one wanted bounty done.
That's right.
And we knew it was going to pop up while you were gone.
That's right. I've been waiting for so long. I'm like, I cannot miss this again. I'm not waiting. And
yeah,
I said,
I think we had missed it. Like we had gotten to the Hellmouth right at the very end of it. I couldn't get in on it.
Come over here, Sarah. Sit down. Put this microphone on your head, this headset on your head, and just let Mark do it for you. You stay alive.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I told her she hopped down and I said just shoot this one person right now because I think you have to put at least just a little bit of damage at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And she did, or she threw a grenade or something. I think that's what it was.
I'm so happy. That's funny though. Yeah, every time we used to play zombies, and she likes to say little jokes to make me laugh as we're playing. I'm like, I'll let everyone hear that. Nope, no. Anyway. So
yeah, and what's even funnier is when she doesn't, when the microphone picks her up, and she has no idea, and then we start laughing, and then she's like, "Oh my God, they could hear me."
Yes. She just texted me, "Quit talking about me, you douche." We love you.
Anyway, she must still be at home then.
Yeah, she hasn't left yet. So anyway, what's going on in your life? Anything new before we get to the big old fat Taken King news?
I am. Don't let Triple D hear this.
Well, you're going to be uploading this. He's going to hear it.
I know. If he listens to us, which sometimes he does, but I'm so close to stepping away till Taken King comes out. But I think that's just coming off of last week because you didn't get to play last week. I played my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And almost pulled all 3 characters up to rank 5 in Iron Banner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, by that time, it was just like, man, I'm just tired of playing now. That's a grind. That's a lot of work to pull 3 characters up.
Now, when we get to this big news drop, as everyone's been reporting on, I'm going to meet you halfway on that bridge. So let's put a bookmark on that.
Okay.
I'll meet you halfway on that bridge. We'll talk about that. Iron Banner, we would plan to play it again all together, and even bring Monkey and our other friend Chris from Australia.
Yep.
And you finally got to play with him some.
I did get to play with him. He's exactly 12 hours in front of us, so he is from the future. So
Gonna go back in time.
He has he's tapped into the Vex ways and learned how to time travel.
Well, that was cool. How was he playing with? What was it like playing with him?
It was really good. He was pretty cool. A little quiet at first, but you know, you talk to him, and you know, you kind of expect it sometimes when we finally figured out exactly what time it was over there. I mean, he's playing it like when I think we first got to play with him. I guess it was Saturday afternoon here, so it's like 4:30, 5:30 in the morning Sunday over there.
That's dedication. If he jumped on just to join you, then applause.
That's what I asked him. I'm like sitting here trying to figure this out, and he said, I was like, do you keep these odd hours, or you know, is it work or something? Like you work third shift or something like that? And he says he goes into work at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. So he kind of just got up early.
So he gets up a little early and plays a little bit, and then goes into work.
Okay, cool.
So it works out for him.
I didn't get to see Monkey at all last week.
I got to play with him a couple times, not very much.
I'm glad we got to keep the olive branch extended to everyone.
Yeah.
My wife said you're playing too much Destiny, so I had to back off and play when she was asleep a little bit. But we had a lot going on as well, and I didn't get in there. But I did squeak out one level 5, so I got my spear and the what's the pistol called? I forgot already.
The Timmer's Lash.
Yeah, I got the Lash. Now, I had played here and there. Never got to join up with you, and it was going to be
we
fun
played
to have
Tuesday night.
We had played one day last week.
Yeah,
did we do
played
Nightfalls
Tuesday
together?
night. Yeah, we ran Nightfalls and then did Iron Banner right afterwards. We played Tuesday night. I got all 3 of my characters up to rank 2 Tuesday night. Now I know you weren't there for all of them. I think you hit your Warlock up to 1, and then
I got 2 to 2, and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
You
just stopped and never could get back on.
The week has been going by so fast. I went to go visit my dad this weekend when I was really going to put the time in. Went up there. He lives in Virginia, about 2 hours away from me. And I was like, man, I wish I could take my Xbox, but they've got satellite internet, and that's no go. I would be beavered and sausaged and zebraed and all that.
The whole zoo.
Error code.
Bring the whole zoo with you.
Yeah. But I got back on Sunday afternoon, and you kept texting me, you're getting on. I'm like, I fell asleep. I was like, crap, I'm not going to hit this.
This wasn't Sunday afternoon. That must have been
Monday.
That must have been, yeah, I was about to say, because Sunday afternoon, my wife and Devin's wife, soon-to-be wife, was crafting at our house.
I forgot.
We pulled up.
You had some LAN Iron Banner.
Almost. We had some wireless Iron Banner.
I forgot.
But, I mean, we pulled up a Rubbermaid 6-foot table and dropped TV and an Xbox on it, and me and Devin were sitting side by side on 2 TVs in the same room playing Iron Banner.
That. I can't keep track of days.
Your ass did not get on Sunday at all.
You're right. I was invited to that, but I was visiting my dad for his birthday. I totally forgot about that.
We're gonna do it again. We got to do it again because me and Devin actually had pretty fun sitting in the same room playing. You know, we've done that over at y'all have had us over to do it, and it's fun. Now this was great because when we come over to y'all's to do it, the women just kind of hovered in a room and talked, and that's all they did.
Yeah.
This one, our 2 were very occupied and just completely, you know, they were in their own world, we were in our own world, and
that's harmony.
It was harmony. I mean, it was great because we didn't have to, you know, when we did it that first time, it was, you know, something always, you got to get up and do this or get up and do that and this and that, and, you know.
Yep.
We sound like we've got very needy wives, but we kind of do.
They need to be entertained as well. Now, Sarah likes to craft as well, so that should work out well if we ever get to pull it together.
That will work out good, and it works because Kara, my wife, is trying to she's trying to branch out in her business and start doing a it's called like a make and take class that she's going to offer or something like that, and it was kind of a, you know, it wasn't even planned as one, but it turned out as an experiment, and Erica was the guinea pig about what to do in these classes, and if something, when something goes wrong, how much time does it take to recover from it, and kind of, stuff like that. It was a good learning experience for her for that aspect of it. So
that's awesome.
It'll work really good, especially with two people over there, because, that's, it's a little different having two than one, but it worked out real great. They made some nice signs. And
was this vinyl stuff they were doing?
They were doing canvas, painted canvas and then doing like a vinyl stencil and doing a different color on it, kind of thing.
Sarah would love that, I think.
Yeah, look on just we're getting a little off track here off the topic of the podcast.
Join us in our conversation.
Yeah,
wherever you are.
Look on my wife's Facebook page and you'll see what they made. Like I think she was tagged in them, or Erica was tagged in them. So you'll be able to see they took a picture of them all like held up, and it was all baby stuff. They made it for the baby kind of thing.
Well, here's how I'm going to tie this together. I got my vinyl plotter in today, and this thing is freaking huge.
Yeah.
It's like it comes up to my belly button. So I didn't realize I was getting that big of a one. But I was going to say, once I get into production, we can make some Warsat Radio shirts, some Destiny related shirts, some bumper stickers, some vinyl stuff.
I still want my Destiny shirt, but there's no way it can be made with vinyl.
Yeah, too many color options.
It's just too much. It's got to be printed. I've got to find. Hopefully somebody on CARES group is that has a printer. I'm sure she knows somebody through the world of Facebook that has that can do printable garments, because I want a T-shirt with the back of it that has a checkbox for every single exotic, and I will leave Gallahorn unchecked even if I get one by the time I get this T-shirt, but I will check every other one just because.
That's funny.
I mean, it's been this long. I'm going to go into year 2 without a Gallahorn, so I want a T-shirt showing that.
That's memorable. Now, the storm has arrived over my house, so we should proceed.
Okay.
I was going to tell one story, though. What got me to level 5 is my bastard new neighbors, who are all teenagers and have no respect for quiet for anybody else.
Did you have respect for quiet when you were a teenager living by yourself for the first time?
I sure did. Well, it was all a bunch of teenagers living around each other on a college campus.
Yeah, so I was in that same setting.
So I did, however, we were all on like terms. Now, here's what the deal was. I got to level 4, I believe. I'd play just little spurts, doing bounties each day after I got back from my dad. So it was like Sunday and Monday. Yeah. And here comes Monday night. I was like, man, I'm not going to worry about getting that lash level 5 and the etheric light. It doesn't matter. It becomes 12 o'clock, and the neighbors, these kids, they're teenagers, and all they do is stand outside the parking lot. We live in a condo, so it's a small complex here, and all they do is stand outside and talk and sit in their cars and laugh and scream and holler, go outside in the back and do the same thing. If you're renting a place, why aren't you inside of it? Why don't you guys just pull up in a parking spot?
Maybe they like to be outside.
Okay, I get it. Now, I don't think they have any furniture, so maybe that's one thing. But
maybe that's why.
Shut the hell up when it's 12 o'clock. There's adults here. There's families here. And my wife can hear a pin drop in Michigan during a snowstorm, and she's dead asleep, and she can hear everything. So they're talking at our window. Like, they're not in front of their door. They're 2 doors down where we are, in front of my car. And these bastards won't shut up. So I'm sitting there camped out watching, playing spy. And I'm like, somebody make a move. Somebody say something. And Sarah yelled down, they woke me up again. So I busted out that door. I was like, do you people realize there are other people sleeping in this complex? I said, I hear you guys throwing up outside, underage drinking. I see you standing outside in front of my car. You won't shut the hell up. There's 9 of you talking. Sound travels. We can hear you. You're 15 feet away from our window. I said, I respect you.
You have become the old guy.
I have.
That is exactly what you have become.
Well, you get to that point. I'm taking care of myself. I said, I'll respect you if you respect us. You're the only people out here doing this. Nobody else does this. Walk around this entire complex. You're the only ones. So I doubt people are going to have mercy for you. I just cut a promo on those people. That's all I can say. So this dude's like, oh, it's cool, baby. It's cool. I was like, we better be cool, and close the door.
You should have raised your blood pressure and turned on red.
Well, I think
vein pop out of the side of your neck.
I got hemorrhoids. My eye was twitching. That's pretty good. Anyway, so that was 12, and then 1 o'clock, they knocked on the door, which sent the House of Wolves flying down the stairs.
That's balls right there.
All three dogs flying down the stairs, scared the shit out of both myself and Sarah. And they're like, we just want to apologize. And I'm like, you're apologizing by waking us up a third time, knocking on the door. So anyway, long story short, they gave us this crybaby excuse of they're teenagers. Please excuse them, but that's how they're going to be. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, cool, we're friends. Don't do that. Stay inside. And they're
I probably would have answered my door with a gun in my hand. You're
not the only person who said that. The community manager said the same thing.
I honestly think my gun would have been in my hand if somebody knocks on my door at 1 o'clock at night. I don't care who the hell it is, and I'm not saying I'm pointing it at nobody, but it will be in my hand because ain't nobody need to be knocking on nobody's door that late at night.
Right.
Unless there's an absolute emergency, but still, you never know you don't know who's out there, especially in y'all's setting. There's so many people around y'all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little different for me. If somebody's knocking on my door, more than likely it's going to be a neighbor.
Right.
Especially because I'm off, it's not like I'm on the main road or anything like that, but it's still, people are crazy these days.
Right. Now, see, that's the thing. People are crazy. You got to watch what you say to people because they'll get upset you said something and retaliate. And I text you, it's like, now, I jumped on their case and they came to the door and we made friends until they do it again, right?
Yeah.
They're like, here's the thing that was funny, though. We're teenagers. We're trying to figure it out. I told my friends I don't want to make it a party house as I smell alcohol on this bitch's breath. And I felt that. I was like, I need to say something. No, let her talk. And she's sorry. We're teenagers. We're going to figure it out. Okay, well, figure it out inside your place. Don't figure it out in the parking lot. Don't figure it out underneath our window. Right. Anyway, here's where I'm going with all that. Well, anyway, yeah, so I said that. And I was like, okay, now, these kids probably are going to be feeling punked out, so they're going to put some antifreeze bacon in our door or in our mail slot so the dogs eat it, or maybe tear up one of our cars just because we told them off. That's how people act these days. They can't be put in their place. They can't be wrong.
So I was like, world today.
It is. So I could have brought the gun to the scene, but then they'll have to one-up you. But I'm playing it cool, baby. Hey, we're cool, baby.
That's fine. I'm just saying I'd have probably swung the door open and it been literally, it wouldn't have been on my side. It would have probably been in my hand.
I agree. I'm the same way. But anyway, we squashed it until they do it again, which they did get loud again 15 minutes later. And we turned the lights on, they shut up. But still, I called the cops that night, too. Here's where I'm tying this in. This is still relative. I didn't go to the door with a gun in my hand. However, I sat down and put a controller in my hand, and I got to level 5.
And put a gun in your hand in game.
Yes, because I was pissed off, and I didn't go to bed till 3:45.
Okay,
and I hit that
let's
level 5 easy.
Let's segue into something else. I'm kind of pissed off with this info dump.
Wow.
The hype is real.
Mm-hmm.
I want it, but I'm kind of pissed off because I grinded my ass out for this etheric light and 2 Aphrodite spears and the Timber's Lash. And it's going to be worthless in, 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
I'm going to go ahead and meet you on that bridge. I thought the same thing. We spent...
I mean, I'm okay moving on.
Mm-hmm.
But... I mean, it sucks. I could have... I mean, I don't know what else I would have done other than play Iron Banner or, even raid a little bit. But, I mean, you weren't on that much, and I had the opportunity. I had a lot of opportunity to play last week, more so than normal, because my wife was either working or asleep. So it worked out for me to be able to play a lot last week.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of sucks that I hope Etheric Light I hope it's relevant in Taken King in some way, because it was actually pretty, it's pretty difficult to get Etheric Light. Any way you look at it, I mean, you can get a lot of it, but it's still kind of difficult to get it.
Right.
It doesn't drop like a Modalite or a Strange Coin or anything like that.
It takes time.
Right, it takes time. And I mean, that's just kind of irritating I'm going to spend my time re-rolling these to use them for 5 weeks. So and may not even re-roll one of them for PvP. I'm going to try to re-roll a spear for PvE. But then again, I don't really know why I would use Black Hammer over the spear, or vice versa. Why I would use the spear over Black Hammer until 2.0 comes out and it turns into the Whack Hammer.
Yep, that's the new name for Black Hammer. Everybody, Whack Hammer. You heard it here first. No point in having it. Yeah, I feel the same way. I was sitting there thinking what we're going to talk about tonight. It's like, you know what? I think I'm going to take myself a break from Destiny because I'll have a reinvigorated spirit for it again when the new stuff comes out. I won't be overplayed. And anything I do will just be a waste of time up until then because if, like the news said, if the white weapons are going to be more powerful than current legendary, as you were just speaking on a little bit, there's no point. I've got everything I need. There's no point in boosting them up if they're going to be obsolete. I believe I read in the Game Informer thing that they'll be good for maybe the first couple levels, and then you'll start finding new stuff.
Yeah, that's just crazy that we're going to find whites and greens that are going to be better than our purples.
I kind of like that though.
I'm torn.
Yeah,
it's I've never played an MMO style game to where stuff gets left behind, like the things we worked for. I was late to the game on my Fatebringer, not as late as you were, but still, I haven't got to play with my Fatebringer, but for not even that much. Maybe March is when I got it.
Right.
So, 3, 4 months, maybe 5 months, maybe, and that's probably my favorite gun. And now I got to leave it behind. So, it just kind of sucks. And I hope to God they don't come back and say, towards the end of year 2, oh, hey, you can ascend all these now.
I know.
But, I want them to, if they're going to do it, stick with it. Don't let us bring stuff up 6-7 months down the road after I've dismantled it to get some vault space back.
I would like what's the word? I would like information if we should get rid of stuff, if we should clear out.
Well, now Cosmo, who is the new community manager, the second community manager behind Deej, come out and said, do not dismantle your legendaries yet.
Right.
And he is the he's the guy that started the Destiny subreddit, and now he is turned and he's kind of he's stepped away from Reddit, handed it over to the other mods, and has got himself a job at Bungie.
Heard about
which
that.
Is great. That's freaking awesome. And he actually come on Reddit and said, do not dismantle your legendaries yet. So don't dismantle them. I will probably dismantle a handful of them. I will probably keep. I will definitely. It will stay in my vault till either something like it comes out, or till year 10 hits, and that will be my Fatebringer.
Right.
And just a couple of the raid weapons that were, I might even keep Whack Hammer just because it took me a while to get that one too. But, just slim down my vault a lot, getting rid of some of the stuff that I really don't need or don't use.
I was thinking I will probably clear out all these duplicates that you have hated me doing just to give one to each character. And that will give me a lot of space. I usually keep...
That would give you a lot of space.
One or two... I keep 1 or 2 free spaces just so I can use the swapping apps. But I would love to clear it out because it is driving me crazy. I feel like a hoarder. But...
Right.
The High Fixer and the Devil and the ones we hold on to from all those times from before that you can't get anymore. I was upset I got rid of my Shadow Price. I think it's time to really say goodbye for most of them.
Yeah, and I got rid of my Shadow Price a long time ago. Like Dark Below, I got rid of mine. And it didn't... That one never really bothered me. Because by the time we could ascend, auto rifles were, in the dirt, and they did absolutely nothing. So, I was never too upset about Shadow Price. I'm more about, I like to collect raid weapons. Because, that's part of that, that something you strive for. Now, I don't care about Prison of Elders weapons.
Oh, God.
Because they're junk. But, I think I've gotten 2 of them. And the Queen's weapons, they're kind of in that same category. I wish I would have kept the rocket launcher, but now, in a few weeks, it probably is not going to make a difference.
Right.
But, other than that, the hype train has started back up.
Heavy. And it happened in one
Heavy.
day.
With the info diarrhea that come out and poured out of Game Informer, out of that humongous article, you know, it seems like they had a good rebound off of E3 because E3 was a bad time for Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't do anything right at E3 at all.
The chain of events that happened with Bungie, as we mentioned before, of the Luke Smith interview, the pricing deal, all of that, they need something good to happen. I think this is definitely going to make up for it. I haven't seen too many people get mad, but I know the weapon thing. I don't think that's going to set well with people.
I think people have that same. Well, I mean, from what I've read, and of course we're seeing the top few percent of this community on Reddit because they're the ones that tend to play more than a majority.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of people don't research the game and don't put in as many hours as we do. I can see them being a little more upset about it, but I think that's because a lot of people on Reddit have come from that MMO style background that gets rid of weapons and armor each year. There's something new. Each time something comes out, it's something new. You're getting rid of the old stuff to make room for the new.
Right.
But there's a lot of collectors out there, too, that don't want to get rid of that either. And I think they've come out and said they're trying to find ways to use the vendors in the tower for, kind of like a vault space.
Right.
So hopefully we're going to see a raid vendor that has, once you get these guns, they're unlocked, you can buy them. That way, if you ever have one that you just want to use, kind of one of those things that's cheap,
Right.
Like, what's the one? The Trials of Osiris. When you go to buy that weapon, it's not like an Iron Banner weapon that's 7,000 Glimmer. It's whatever, 100 or 250 or how much they ever cost. I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
I've never bought one, but,
Mm-hmm.
Trials of Osiris stuff is cheap compared to like an Iron Banner
Yeah.
gear.
Do you think that what's the best way to state this? Deleting an old weapon, but still having some way to pick it back up later, kind of like you said about the grade stuff. You unlock it, ability to buy it.
Right.
Maybe some kind of method to go pick up an old weapon. If it's going to be weak, then there's no point doing that. And if it's not going to do any damage as you get higher level, no point. But do you think it would be a good idea to put something back in where you could pick up those old weapons anyway for collectors, or is that just a waste of time?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, that makes a really good point of why would you want to buy it again if it's so weak you're not going to be able to use it?
Yeah.
Unless you're going to go through Vault of Glass on level, 26 or 30,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to use a Vault of Glass weapon because, no weapon can match, at least what we have now, no weapon can match a Vault of Glass weapon inside Vault of Glass.
Right. I only asked that because we talked about the collector issue, and Bungie knows we like to collect these weapons.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a collector. I've got every one of them, and I'm building my Iron Banner collection.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate to get rid of them because that's part of. I don't know why I've become that way, but I like that hoarding aspect of collecting all the in-game weapons.
Right.
But
I don't know if what did I hear about the exotics? They'll be able to be boosted up. Did you read anything about that?
Yes.
Explain that.
and
or what you know about it.
I kind of guessed this earlier because on the vid doc for the Dreadnought, it showed somebody walking up to a chest and pulling a Gallahorn.
Mm-hmm.
If we were going to get rid of exotics from year one, there would have been no reason for them to pull a Gallahorn out of a chest on the Dreadnought because it's going to be, it would have been worthless.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have just been a dick move for them to give away a worthless weapon, especially the Gallahorn, out of a chest.
Right.
So I kind of figured we were going to take exotics. And I feel like exotics should carry through. I don't feel like exotics should go away because it's a big part of the lore, more so than a raid, or just not even a raid weapon, but just a legendary weapon.
Right.
Exotics have a lot more lore built in behind them than Fatebringer or the Devil or whatever legendary you want to apply that to.
Mm-hmm. Here's something made me think is when you were describing that lore. If the old exotics aren't going to be able to be used, or they're going to be powerful enough, how will they address leaving those weapons there to get the Grimoire card for them?
Yeah.
Because let's all go collect Grimoire score and have the highest score. People who might chase those. How are they going to be able to allow us to continue getting that if they're going to take them out? Or maybe you can still get it, but it will be worthless. But then what's the point of having something drop you can't use?
Right.
It's just the thought.
And see, that's why I don't think they will. If they get rid of exotics, I think it will be Destiny 2. But then I still don't see that happening with us carrying everything over into Destiny 2. I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I could be completely wrong, and we could be getting rid of exotics and making room for all new exotics come Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see. I just don't see that happening.
In the 104 questions video, if anyone has seen that, if you haven't, go search for 104 questions. If it's about Destiny, however it was titled, you'll find it if you put those search terms in. One of the questions: are we getting more vault space? And Luke Smith said, "Kind of,
maybe, no, or did he say kind
sort
of,
of,
or
maybe?" So it's in a way like we might not get more slots.
And I think that's applying to the like the vendors. They're going to start using the vendors.
Mm-hmm.
They've already come out and said for shaders and emblems, they will now be accessed via a computer terminal. And once you unlock it, you've got it. And you can walk over there and pick it up. And the ones you don't have, it also tells you how to get, which is pretty cool. That's awesome. They needed that. That's a great step for those two things, because that will, if I don't collect shaders and emblems, those are the one things I don't collect. For one reason, I have no room in my vault, but for the other reason, I just never thought about it. So I've never had that problem with having, shaders filling up my vault. I just kind of tended to have them on the character and, staying, just swapping them between them if I want to, if I want to use them.
Okay, we just had a little bit of power outage. We got major storm over top. I believe Crota or Oryx is coming. But anyway, we got cut off, so we're going to start back up and make this cohesive again. As you were saying.
Yeah, I think I got lucky and the storm kind of split and went around us, but then another one popped up and went towards you.
We were just talking and my computer just shut down. I was like, oh, right, power outage.
Yeah, so hopefully this doesn't sound too bad whenever it gets all put together. But yeah, another thing about the exotics was in this Game Informer article, I've learned a couple words today too. A couple words that I never knew. I told you earlier I had no clue the dreadnought was a real life word and wasn't a Bungie made up universe word. Sounds like you need your dreadnought if you were to walk outside right now, which is kind of funny.
God, our segues are top notch.
Anyways, and I gotta say this word right. I don't know why I cannot say this word when I look at it. In this Game Informer article, it says exotics now come with an intrinsic perk upon acquisition. Oh. So it's like the scout rifle that's shown in the collector's edition called the let's scroll up, see what it's called. The Sleeper Simulant is when you get a precision kill, it will blind nearby enemies.
Very nice.
So kind of like a version of Firefly, but instead of exploding, it just gives them, it blinds them.
It's a built-in perk.
It's a built-in perk. Well, that's the defining perk.
Okay.
Kind of like Thunderlord's Arc Firefly, or You know, along those lines. It's the defining perk for that, you know, that gun.
Okay.
It also says here, and they describe, not just talking about this, but they're describing it like Saint 14's defining perk is a blinding bubble.
I see.
So Juju's is, you know, faster is the string of curses, and super good advice, and you know,
and like Thorn's making people mad.
Ammo. Thorn is pissing people off. Right. You know, that's what that perk is, and now they're saying the I don't quite understand this, you know, fully, because it already sounds like we have these perks already there, because the definition of this word is belonging naturally or essential.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never heard this word used in my life anywhere. It's got to be just kind of one of those journalistic words of, hey, here's a big word, I'm going to throw it out there kind of thing.
I've heard that word, but I've never been able to define it because I've never had to use it. Seen it in a couple class definitions and things, but that's all I know of it.
And it says, it states right after this, it says the defining perk that sets it apart. It said, like the helm of Saint 14's blinding ability. It said this readjustment even applies to older exotics that you acquire after the Taken King launches. So this sounds like we're getting another perk on top of our older exotics. Now I don't know if that means we'll have to reacquire them and have to re-level them up.
We've never had to do that before.
No, never had to do that one, Bungie. Or if it just means that exotics are just going to get a new perk, or, you know, I don't see them adding a new perk to an exotic, so I don't know if this article's just stating what's already there. Right. Because every exotic's got its unique perk, and some hidden perks and all that. But, I mean, I could be going nowhere with this, because after I just kind of talked myself out of my whole train of thought with that statement. But it also talks about how, you know, the new exotics are questline exotics, not just random drops either, which is awesome.
I wonder if that'll be some kind of hidden unlockable kind of thing, or just when the whole thing starts over, you you start back over by leveling it up, and it's there after some kind of update.
Here's a statement right below that. It says they're tied to quest lines, and then it says weapon is gained in part through extensive exploration of Oryx's fortress-like dreadnought. Hidden pieces are scattered across the ship, each piece with a story, kind of like a dead ghost shell. It helps tell the story behind that gun.
Now that's really cool.
That is freaking awesome.
Here's what I'm going to wonder about the raid. When we start getting on the dreadnought and start exploring, are you going to be able to keep your team together to focus on one what's the word I'm looking for? One quest, or will people start scattering and leaving and finding this, and now I want to chase this rabbit hole or rabbit down the hole? You know what I'm trying to say? Someone's going to find something.
I guess it depends on if you're playing with randoms or playing with people, you know.
Well, I could hear you saying, Chris, come back here, we're over here.
Yeah.
Like, but I found a hole, I want to jump in it.
That will, or you'll say, I found a window that needs to be rebuilt. But yeah, I can see that. It's part of that. The only time that I really do that is when it's so repetitive, and you just get, you know, your ADD takes over and you go off somewhere else.
Right.
So that's when I'm trying to get you reeled back in. You know, get your ass over here. We got to go this way and finish this. Don't worry about that little hole in the wall over there. It ain't going to do anything. But you know, that'll be, I guess if you're playing with randoms, I could see that happening a lot. Like people just kind of walking off and wandering off. But I mean, really, who patrols with randoms?
That's true.
In a fire team, not just, you know, in the same instance. So it'll be a lot of fun when it first comes out to try to find this stuff. I
got really excited when you said that. I was like, ooh, the exploration makes it more fun than going to collect drops.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. And
they talk about a ton of things of, you know, the bosses that are going to be throughout the whole thing. They've also mentioned something called ultra bosses with whatever the hell that means, you know. I don't know. I guess that means there'll be more bullet spongy, or maybe it's going to take a lot of people to take them down, kind of like a public event style. They've said there's going to be player-initiated public events that will drop loot. So, I mean, that's it's exciting. It's exciting to see this. It's been stated that we have been playing the beta for a year, and now Destiny is coming out.
Finding out how to get to some of these bosses, I hear, might be an option. Not option, but a way to... part of the discovery, I should say.
Yes, yeah, they said you're going to see, Cabal fighting Hive off in the distance, and you're not going to know how to get over there, and you'll have to go around and, find your way over there.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. I mean, I hope it lives up to the hype.
It seems to be game-changing. Everyone I read, everyone's article I read seems to have high hopes on it, and yes, the hype train is chewing along, but I mean, it seems like the meat is coming onto the bones. You already said the beta is what we've been playing, but It seems like we're going there. Time will tell, and we've got a whole month full of stuff to be released to us until September. If there's that much information that can keep coming out, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff, and I hope they don't give us too much.
I want to throw this in here before we continue going weapon-wise, but the level issue. So our new level cap is going to be 40. Here's a question to you. Have you seen anything about this? Does that mean, since we're going to be getting rid of the light system, do you think we're going to drop back down to a 20? Do we drop down to 20 and go to 40, or are we going to be locked into our level regardless of the gear we have?
I haven't seen anything be said. I don't. We have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was something I'd missed.
I mean, I kind of hope we stay at 34. Because, well, actually, I take that back. I think we will stay at 34. Because one of the things that got released said, with every edition of the Taken King, you have the ability to automatically level up one Guardian to be able to play the Taken King content.
Ooh.
So if you were to, if you get it right off the bat, you're going to automatically, bam, be up to whatever level that level is. And, if they keep on with the rate they're going, House of Wolves leveled was, what was it, level 26? I think 28.
What do you mean?
Like when the story missions, the normal...
Mm-hmm.
Normal mode story missions, I think, for House of Wolves was 26. And then, you worked your way up to, if you were progressing normally before, like we were already a 32 whenever it come out. But if you were progressing through, you worked your way up to 28. And then from 28, you would work your way on up to 32 and 34 through, armor drops. But I hope we stay at a 34. I don't want to go all the way back to a 20. Because then that's going to bring in the case of what do we do for Nightfalls that week? Are we even going to be able to run Nightfalls that first week?
What do you do with the raids that are set at 30, 32, 20?
Right.
The 28 you can do Prison of Elders. What do you do for that?
Yeah.
So when you mention one character can be automatically shot up or kept, then man, that's a lot of ways or a lot of distance to go back for two other characters who've been on par with your main if you have three. And have to do all this again.
Well, no, I think they're saying it for a new character. Like, I think it actually states a new character has to be, it's got to be a new character and then be brought up.
Okay.
Or it says character boost with every copy of Taken King. Every edition... Taken King will include one character boost which allows a player to instantly level up any existing or newly created Guardian to the minimum level required to play Taken King.
I got you. So if you're not on par to do this stuff, okay.
Right. So if you quit out, if you had Destiny in the very beginning and you quit when you hit level 20, and now you're going to come back and give it another try for Taken King, you're going to automatically jump to whatever that top level or that minimum level to complete or to compete in Taken King activities.
That makes sense. All we need is one more thing to make the community angry, and it's something like that would set people off, and I'm quitting the game forever. and this is set up to be, and they've mentioned something to bring back old players. So that would be a great way to not punish you for not playing for a while. You get put up to where you can at least start playing. We all want to get our new subclass. So if you're put way behind that 8-ball to try to get up to being able to get the missions to get your subclass and then go get it, that's not fun. That's punishment and work. So good to see they're not doing anything quite like that. Banishing light levels, you go back to level 20, start from there. But I hope...
We hope they're not doing that. We still, we have no clue for sure.
Man, do they need one more thing for us to complain about? That would say that.
They don't.
That would be a problem.
They don't, but I mean, how are we gonna? We have no idea how we're gonna make that jump from up to 40. Mm-hmm. We know how we're gonna get there once we, if we were going through normally, but for us people that are already at 34, I'll be irritated if I have to go run 3 characters from level 20 to 34, because I remember those XP jumps from 18 to 19 to 20 were, they were pretty big.
They took a while.
They took a little while. The first time, not the second time, because we were running each other through them, but, they took a little while.
I'm curious how the explanation, well, there probably won't be any, the explanation of here's why we leveled up with light, now we're not. Because, I always mention how every little expansion seems to be your soup and your salad, and here comes the entree, it seems like. Taken Kings would be the meat. But it's always a piece of tape to fix what was broken. It seems like we're just given something to do till they get this out. If they're going to be talking about how the light is so good and it's fighting the darkness, if the light was in our armor...
Well, now, light's not going away.
Well, how are they going to incorporate light if we're not going to be using light levels?
I think light is going to be based on damage. So, like, you're going to have gear, or not, maybe not even gear, but a gun that will have its own light level, or maybe it will stack up on itself, because we've seen one of the E3 videos showed somebody having 400 and some odd light level.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how, you're still going to be level X with a light level of X, Y. It's not going to be, you're going to be a level 20 with a light level 34. It's going to be, by the time you should be maxed out, you'll be a level 40 at, and you can probably swap that gear out. I don't know. They haven't said enough about it to really, go too in depth with it. But I think that's how they're going to still have the light system there, is because maybe it will add on top of, how much damage you could take or how much damage you could do. But you're still going to be a level, you will never go above level 40, but maybe the light level on the gear can stack multiple times and have, up into that hundreds of value.
I buy that.
For light.
Sure. Well, I'm anxious to get into this. I'm actually more excited to take the break so it'll be fresh, as we're both seeming like we're going to be doing. So everything will be fresh and exciting, and we won't be played out. Hopefully it'll be like kids at Christmas time again.
I mean, I still want to do minimum. I want to do Nightfalls.
Yeah, well,
that's it.
I know you have a reason to do that, and I would like to keep fresh on the game. So, I'm just saying this because with all the upset players we've had, all the news, everything that changes, people get mad at, and I'm not mad at any of this. I'm accepting this change. I've had some issues with some of the stuff, so do what you may. Do what you may. That's what I say. Now the Nightfalls and Prison of Elders, you've gotten all of your not the achievements. What do you call it?
I've gotten all I need. I mean,
no, the thing to get
other than us doing the Flawless Raider achievement.
Well, not.
Oh, you're talking about the Triumph thing.
You're done with that, right?
I've done all that. I'm done.
So we're cool with that. But yeah, now the Flawless. Now I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot it. That's one thing we can chase, and I'm happy. See, right then when I thought I had something to do, I got reinvigorated to play. That's what it takes. You got to have me on a goal.
Right.
So
I think if we could get through, pick up one or two other people and run Crow to normal, we should be able to bust that Flawless Raider out.
Well, that's what's on the calendar. Let's see. We've covered the weapons. We've covered the leveling system. Are you upset that Dinklage won't be voicing the Ghost anymore? People seem to love that, but then I've heard
people seem to hate it
Yeah,
too.
I've read how it's bland, but it's like, well, he's what we've known.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool that they are going back and re-recording everything to have that consistency.
That's very cool.
I think that's kind of nice instead of just having Dinklage up until, the vanilla story ends, and then we don't hear from him for the 2 DLCs, and then Taken King's going to come out, and then we're going to have a new Ghost voice. I think that would have been acceptable if they tied it into the story somehow. Maybe, our Ghost lost his voice in the Black Garden, and that's why we haven't heard from him since, and we got to fix him. But now he sounds different because we fixed him. I saw that post on Reddit somewhere that would have been acceptable, but I think it's equally acceptable that they're just going to re-record everything.
We have to pretend it didn't happen.
And I also saw that I think it would be a cool idea for them to put an Easter egg in, just like they did with the loot cave. They didn't pretend the loot cave didn't happen. I mean, they acknowledged that in game by the little pile of dead bodies inside the loot cave. So I think it'd be cool if they put some kind of little Easter egg in there, kind of hinting at Dinklage. So
I wonder what's going to happen to Dink's royalties. I wonder if he'll get any more. I wonder if he'll continue to get paid.
I don't know.
If he even had any. So, let's see. Dinklebot, levels, weapons. What Dreadnought news do we know? I've seen the map, and I like how it looks to be kind of planetscape as far as a destination we can go to. At least that's how the map looked.
It's going to be huge. That thing looks... to be inside a ship, it looks massive. We saw the pictures in the update last week. That just... it's got a lot of verticality to it. Like, it looks like you're a couple hundred feet to the ceiling of the... of the ship, or at least of that area you're walking in.
The puzzles are one thing I'm interested in seeing. I want to be one of the first people who find this stuff, which I know we won't. But isn't it great to think of all the stuff you can pop across and say, oh man, I found this, and it's something new, and then get credit for one of the first people finding it. I know we won't be one of those people, but that's one thing that excites me.
Yeah. It's... I almost want to go into it completely blind, but then I won't have anything to do while I'm slow at work, or sitting here at night and look on Reddit. I don't want to see if I want to go into it blind, I don't want to sit here and see the all the posts about it, because they're going to be. Right. But it'll be kind of fun to explore. But I can see us. It would be really nice to be some of the first to find certain things, but. The way some people play this game, I think that's impossible.
Oh, yeah, they're going to comb it.
For us.
Yeah, they're going to comb it for hours. We don't have the time to do that.
Right. Now, I know we're both kind of trying to plan on taking off that day.
I was just going to say that.
Or the day after. So, we might have a little bit of time to do it, but we also have wives, too. So
I guarantee we'll be spending that first day looking for or doing the missions for getting that subclass.
Yeah.
I would love to go directly to the raid, but I know we got to get the subclass out of the way.
Well, see, we don't even know if the raid will be accessible first day.
My guess...
Vault of Glass wasn't.
Yeah. My guess is I'm going to say sure. I'm going to say it'll be there, but that's just a guess.
I kind of hope they don't.
Really?
I kind of hope they push it a week for normal mode. Don't, of course, don't drop hard mode at the same time. But push it for a week and let people take time getting through the story mission.
I agree. Pace it, sure.
Pace it a little bit. I think that helps if you pace it a little bit. To wait a week or two before they release the raid. Plus, that also gives the new players or some new players time to get, up into that slot where they could jump in and do it too.
The rush to get everything.
That is one thing I will avoid. I'm going to avoid all raid talk, and hopefully they don't show any raid information on a stream. But if they do, it will It will not be watched. I want to go into this raid blind. We've never went into a raid blind before, and I want to go into this raid blind. I think it'll be insanely fun to try to figure some of this stuff out.
We're not going to spit on it. We're just going to put it on in.
Yeah, just put it on in. Just shove it in.
I was looking at the map, and there's that one area called the Mausoleum. I'm severely interested in that. I wonder if we're going to see some kind of the mega boss, mini boss, old things we've seen before reimagined in there.
Right.
I love that kind of thing when you look at any kind of hints of something from the old times you played the game, from something vanilla maybe. Yeah. Or it could just be a bunch of dead stuff on the ship. I don't know. I just like old hints, Easter eggs, whatnot. There's another bridge on this. I hope we don't have the same create the bridge, hold a pylon kind of thing, or a totem. I hope that's not what's going to go on.
I don't think so. I think they've showed that in the trailers. Is you're just kind of walking across it. It's kind of floating there.
But a bridge means puzzle.
But I mean the pylons, that's true. I mean the totems, the annihilator totems were a little. I mean that was a pretty cool mechanic, and so was the sink plates.
Yeah.
But I mean I hope they don't do those just because we've seen them and we know exactly what to do with them. I hope we have to, and I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're going to find something different to do. So that way, we don't. It's pretty easy to go in and say, yeah, here's this new raid, but if we go into it and here's some plates we stand on, we know what we got to do here, or here's this funny looking, or it probably takes one wipe of, hey, I'm standing here and something's happening, but why is this thing glowing red and we're dead? Kind of. Oh well, that's just like the annihilator totem. So go stand over here. Go stand at that thing. See if this helps. So I mean, I hope they find a new way to do that. But I like those mechanics. Those mechanics are fun. Those are what makes it's what makes the raid the raid.
It is very true. I'm wondering where we're going to start on this Dreadnought. The narthex is what I'm guessing, because it's kind of like the definition for that is like the porch or the entrance, first part under the roof. I'm wondering if we're going to stop there, but then you look at the hull breach, and we went in on a bunch of ships on the video or the trailer. I wonder if we're going to go in the hull breach. So I'm interested in just everything about this, and it kind of is overshadowing everything else, all the missions, all the what's the word I'm looking for? All the factions. For me, it's all about the raid. That's what I've been missing. That's why I haven't really enjoyed the House of Wolves, because it's like, it's tasty for a couple weeks. Now it's like, I want to do a raid, and I've done the other raids so many times. It's not fulfilling. So I'm all about this raid. That's what I want to do everything about. But I will pace myself with it and join you and Devin to go through it in a timely manner.
Right.
I don't know. I could just sit here and look at this map and think all day long, but...
Now, what did you say? Where did you say was the entrance? What did you say that was?
Well, my guess. Okay, so the narthex that's like the front entrance to, I think the definition says it's like a church, like the entrance to a Western church or something. It's like a porch.
Okay, so do you think that'll be the entrance to the raid?
That's kind of my guess.
Or do you... Okay. I was thinking you were talking about the entrance to... like where we would start when we fly in.
Whoa.
Choose it from the loading screen.
That's kind of what I mean.
No, I was thinking more patrol, not raid.
I gotcha.
So, like, if we load into Venus, we load in, in between, what is it, Ember Caves and whichever the beach one is. And then you can drive your way around to the start of Vault of Glass in that area. But that's what I thought you were talking about, the entrance to... like patrol-wise, but I think if I had to guess, I think Hull Breach would be that place.
Yeah, because it's
a breach.
We're coming in.
Yeah.
I like how there's the Altar of Orcs and the Court of Orcs. There's the Asylum, the
Hanging Crypts.
It's kind of scary when you looked at the Mausoleum with that too. It's a bunch of dead stuff.
Yeah.
I looked up the
and these little circles that are bound, put off the maps. Like I guess the narthex is one of those circles I'm talking about. I guess it's right to the right of it. I'm wondering if that's not a raid entrance, if that will be a way to get to one of those ultra bosses or something like that, because there's one off the asylum also.
That's very true. I didn't think about that. Wait, where's the asylum? I'm looking at this. I see.
The
that's the
asylum
hanging
is
crypt.
on the far right. Yeah.
You know, in the video when we were looking at that, and I said, "What if the Dreadnought gets the Red Ring of Death?" Anyone have seen that trailer for, or I guess it's the epilogue or the prologue, whatever it is?
Yeah, the prologue.
When you watch the ship flying by, the Dreadnought flying by, it's got that light that flies across and lights up that ring. Looks like an Xbox power button. And, you know, Xbox 360 is prone to getting the Red Ring of Death.
Bungie hates Xbox.
The 360 is prone to getting the Red Ring of Death. What if the Dreadnought gets the Red Ring of Death and it just drops out of the sky? Anyway, those circles kind of remind me of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of to see where those circles will be, or what they will become, because they seem like dead ends from this map. So there's got to be a point to go there.
It's interesting, the shape of this too, because the ship is a big cube type. I don't know the
diamond shape.
Maybe? I don't know the right not geographic geometric shape, but it's a big flying cube, elongated whatever. But this map is just really messy. I don't know how if it applies. I guess we're looking overhead, but I don't know how it applies.
Yeah, this is a top-down view.
I wonder what's in the okay, so if we're looking at this together, you see Saturn. So if anyone wants to look at this map, just Google the Dreadnought map, and you see that gigantic circle kind of in between the world, right above to the top left of Saturn. I wonder if that has something to do with that. It looks probably just a design.
All right, the gigantic circle around what?
You see the word Saturn.
See the word Saturn. Hold on.
Okay,
yes. Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that's just a design.
See, now I'm wondering if that's the right, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And not the little circle to the left. I'm wondering if the Narthex is the big open area there.
I see that.
And that little circle to the left is part of, I guess, the bridge is what that area is called. It's probably got its own little name whenever you walk up there, but I'm wondering if that's what the Narthex is.
Well, these circles are repeating shapes. I mean, we've got the two main ones, the hanging crypts, or what we might guess is the Narthex. There's the large one. If you go down beside the Altar of Orcs, there's a smaller ring-like shape there too.
Yeah.
Now, Saturn is the planet mentioned, and I think to the far left, that's kind of like a Saturn-y planet with the rings there. There's this ring shape pattern continuously here. I wonder what the significance of that is. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it.
It's we're going to be orbiting Saturn with inside its rings, so maybe it's just a theme for it.
Just looking, just curious. My eyes opened.
Pure speculation.
Purely. Anyway, Saturn's rings. That's cool. Well, that's the map. I have yet to come over that like I have just now, so you guys were journeying into my mind to see how I look at that stuff. One thing I'm curious about, too, once you get in here, how some of these public events can be initiated on your own. I wonder if some of these will be needed to be done to progress in the raid.
I hope so.
Anything they do to kind of tie in everything that the game gives us that we do kind of on its own, but then to build on the whole, I think would be really great. Just another piece of the puzzle. So I've been thinking about this raid thing more than anything. But anyway,
I think that's because that's what we, they didn't give us one with Prison of Elders, and I think that's most enjoyable for us, at least. It is to run through the raids.
Anything else you'd like to cover on the Dreadnought before we move on?
No. Now,
do you care about the Soros pack at all?
I mean, I think they're going to be pretty cool. I think it'll be a, we were kind of speculating on the whites and greens being, or not even speculating, it's been confirmed that you're going to find whites and greens better than your purples. But from EA videos and showing like gameplay of Rift and Mayhem and stuff like that, they were using Suros weapons there, and they were purples. So hopefully this will be a quick, easy way to access a purple weapon that will be worth it in that end content or in the later content, since our current legendaries are going to be not do enough damage to do anything.
For myself, I'm curious if I should continue on with my collector's edition purchase. Now the Suros pack has nothing to do with that, or that's just a pre-order pack, right?
Right. For what reason? Yeah, you get the Suros pack if you pre-order anything.
That was the problem we had, or not we. That was the problem people had understanding 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah.
Do I have to pre-order to get this? Will I be able to get it after pre-order, which is the January date?
Yeah. You can get it after if you don't pre-order, and if you pre-order any aspect of it, you get it. So it's, I think it's a good way to get a legendary. True.
Very true. Do you care about that much at all? Are you going to pick it up?
I'm going to pre-order it, just so I can, I'm going to pre-order it just so I can go ahead and pay for it and not have any kind of stupid bills pop up when it comes out.
You can't get it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and pre-order it just to have those. I want those. I guess the collector side of me wants them. And I think it's been not confirmed, but it's also been stated somewhere you're going to get a Hake pack also.
Ah, that's cool.
And I saw a picture today of somebody pulled from a screenshot of one of the videos of a dead orbit Amalon auto rifle, maybe something. Amalon dead orbit.
I saw that picture. The Titan-looking character had it, I believe.
Yeah,
kind of square and long, and
so we may have Founders weapons in factions.
They've got to do something with.
Cool.
They've got to do something with factions. They've got potential to do great things for us.
Now, did you pay attention to where they said marks are going away?
I did not.
Vanguard marks and Crucible marks are coming into one as a legendary mark.
So we're going to be gaining legendary marks from here on out. Well, from there on out.
They merge. They are literally just going to be not two marks. They are going to just merge into one and be called legendary marks.
I kind of like that.
Just like plating and essence and sapphire wire, sapphire wire are going to just become armor materials and just all turn into armor materials.
I kind of like the marks coming together because I don't really use them in the first place.
Right.
They just sit there. I don't really care to get materials for them because it's like, I'll go pick some in the wild. But I do sometimes just to use them, and I think that's a waste. The armor and weapon part kind of thing, I feel like we're losing a little bit of unique dismantling property, but I guess it makes sense. It's kind of...
Well, I mean, think about it this way. You've got a ton of essence on your main. Now, and you were, at the time, you were bringing up your other characters, you were hurting for some plating and some wire.
Nice, I can share that. I see. Yes.
So now, I mean, you draw out of that one pool of material, and you don't have to sit here and have 3 different types for the exact same thing, just different classes. You're going to have that one, that you can put in your vault and sit there and have thousands of.
That's not bad. That makes more sense, too, because I can now share those, because I think my hunter is the one that's always hurting, because it's not my main, and I don't go do...
You hardly ever play with it.
Well, I do. I just use specific, like, let's do PoE, or let's do Iron Banner. I never go run anything where I really get Ingrams to break down, so that's okay. I see the positive in that. The We Are Guardians trailer, I want to talk about that real quick. Did you comb through that at all? I've seen lots of screenshots and lots of things where people looking at that. Was that the video where you picked up the heavy sword?
The heavy sword? Yeah, that was the one I think the heavy sword got shown. And it just, I didn't comb through it a lot. I kind of got engrossed in the video and just watched it and, not tried to pick it apart. So, no, I haven't looked through it. I've seen some of the screenshots, like the heavy sword weapon. And I kind of showed you part of the ship fighting that will. It's probably nothing more than a cutscene, but still, it looks exciting as hell to watch. And I think the lore behind it is it's actually showing why the Queen is so feared and how much power she actually has. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what that cinematic, that cutscene's supposed to show.
I was hoping by now in the Rift we would have access to go to the Queen, but I guess that wasn't what we're supposed to do or see for House of Wolves, but maybe we'll have that opened if she's even going to be visible to us in the new expansion, because there's that room in the Rift or that door where she's guarded, and or we guess she's guarded, and I don't think she's there. I think she's hidden somewhere else, safer than where we're at. But yeah, hopefully it builds on that storyline, and I think it will. I think the Queen's supposed to be a big part of that storyline, along with Eris and Zavala. Well, if the Queen's bounties are going to come back, I would hopefully we get to go we get to see her, or maybe we'll get them somewhere else. Just a thought I always had.
I don't know if the Queen's bounties are going to come back, other than what we already got.
I swear I've read that Queen's bounties will come back on the 15th.
Yeah, but I mean, what's different from? I mean, the Queen's bounties we ran before House of Wolves dropped that got everybody so hyped up for it were the exact same bounties we're getting now every week. So, I mean, with other than just putting her in the tower instead of in the reef, that's the only difference I think they ever had with them.
Well, maybe they won't. I was hoping we could just see her to get her involved. If she's so feared, let's see this person.
Right.
Speculation, pure speculation. One thing we were talking about the pre-show, just looking at some of these weapons and some of the things, you got to see the abilities being used, and I can't wait for my lightning hands. I got to say that.
Your Palpatine.
Palpatine hands, yes. I do like how the one shotgun, I believe it was, we took a look at. It looks like it's
that we happened to catch.
Yeah, it's like kind of a lever action, kind of the way he cocks it. Like if anyone's seen Terminator 2, if you guys can recall back whenever Schwarzenegger had this sawed-off shotgun and had a big ring loop, and he flipped it around to shoot it. We saw that action by a hunter. It kind of throws in the old Wild West kind of thought, kind of like The Last Word.
Maybe it's, I was about to say, maybe it's made by Tex Mechanica.
There you go. I kind of like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Bring some kind of feeling, or not feeling, what's the word I'm trying to say? Quirkiness, not quirky, I don't know the word I'm looking for this. Some kind of uniqueness to the gun where, the Last Word, you always flip it around like a gunfighter.
When you're twirling it.
This shotgun or whatever it may be is...
that gun also has a lot of intricate design.
It certainly does.
Going down the barrel. Just like Last Word does. So that it could be onto something there. It may be...
The Wild West pack.
that may be the... I kind of guessed it. When I looked at it, I saw it and I thought it was, this is probably an exotic. And that may be that it's made by Tex Mechanica, or Tex Mechana. I think it's Mechanica. But made by the same people that make The Last Word.
That would be neat to have a couple things like that. We need a long-range sniper, not No Land Beyond. That kind of fits in with that. I like the thought of like when Star Wars was made by George Lucas, he said he kind of wanted to be like the space opera. He got cues from westerns, that dirty gunslinger thing. I kind of like seeing the space western, sci-fi, dirty, gritty kind of gunfighter thought coming through Destiny a little bit. There's all these sci-fi films and things, they draw from different things in the past.
Right.
It'd be kind of cool to see just hints of that too, because we already got a little bit of the guns and the hip firing action that Last Word does. Yeah. Now we just need like space horses and space stagecoaches. Anyway,
space horses.
I'm just going off. But yeah, I haven't combed through all of that video like a lot of people have, but those two little things like the logo for the sword and that gun, just the way he cocked it, kind of cool things. Maybe I'll spend more time and find things later if I don't read someone else that has already done it. But there's all kinds of things we'll pick up, and I'm excited to play this. Now,
speaking of some more guns, I think the some of the new exotics they talked about, we kind of talked on a little early about the sniper that's going to blind people on a precision kill. The Stranger's Rifle is now, the exotic version of the Stranger's Rifle is called the I don't have time, or the Don't Have Time to Explain, I think is what it's called.
It rolled off your tongue?
Yeah, No Time to Explain, that's what it is. No Time to Explain. I mean, that's freaking cool. That's getting turned into one. They've also talked about a heavy fusion rifle that is like a railgun.
Now, I've seen a picture of that, and people were calling it fake. If it's the same thing, just that big slab of metal with some spikes on it.
I haven't seen a picture. All I've seen it talks about it in this article.
Okay, well, I saw a picture of someone that looked like they photoshopped it, but they mentioned railgun on the top of it. That's the explanation. But then when you threw that in there, I didn't realize that had already been spoke about. Maybe that they drew that picture from that. Okay.
Right, and now this is it says it's a heavy fusion rifle, but it's essentially a railgun. It charges and shoots a laser beam out that can bounce off walls, and when upgraded, when you upgrade it bounces more. Interesting.
And I was going to say, did you ever play enough Halo to pick up the Spartan laser?
No.
Okay. There's a gigantic laser that charges up, and it's like a one-shot kill, but it's slow charging. And I was thinking a while back, I wonder if they'll throw in any kind of Spartan laser type thing, because it is Bungie after all.
Well, it sounds like they're going that way.
They got to bring out their old tricks.
And this sword that we're seeing in this video, it's got to be, that's got to be an exotic. They're not going to let us run around with a legendary sword. So, I mean, the exotics that are coming out look pretty damn cool. Especially, I know what I was going to say. Somebody picked out of one of the videos that looks like a fire Thunderlord.
A fire Thunderlord.
It looks, it almost looks exactly like Thunderlord. Like the whole skin of the gun looks the same, except instead of blue and having lightning, it's red and has fire.
Okay. I like it.
So I don't know, we don't know. Nobody's said anything about it. It's just kind of one of those screenshots out of one of the videos that people kind of caught on to and started saying, hey, is this, look at what this looks like. This looks like a Thunderlord that's got a fire element instead of, an arc element.
I would like to see any kind of, not really upgrade, but version of our favorite exotics come to life. And then that way we still kind of use them, but they're advanced. That'd be kind of cool. What else is there to throw in? I'm trying to scour the internet to see any kind of news we're missing, but that's kind of what I've been reading mostly.
Yeah, I think tomorrow they're gonna. I think about 7:30 Pacific a.m. So I guess it's 10:30 here. They're gonna be. It will actually be their presentation at GameStop. So I don't know if we'll get any more information then, or it's just kind of going to go over what is in this Game Informer article. But yeah, that'll be kind of interesting to see and watch and hear about, all in depth to see what they actually say, if they show us any more.
I think it's interesting that Game Informer got this big drop, this big scoop, when we know Game Informer is owned by GameStop.
Well, the collector's edition was GameStop only.
I swore there was more places than that you could get that.
No, the digital version isn't, but the physical version is GameStop only. The one that comes with the strange coin and all the good stuff like that, that is a GameStop exclusive.
Someone tell me that politics are not in gaming. Someone please tell me that. That kind of gets old, like the whole system exclusive, now store exclusive. I know everyone wants the upper hand, but it gets old. I'm just going to buy the game. I'm going to buy the game. I'm going to play the game. I don't care who I get it from. I don't ever shop around. Well, I guess I have in the past shopped around for the best pre-order or whatnot. But most times that stuff is just throwaway, so I haven't really paid attention to what you get when you pre-order. But I don't know what I'll do. Like I said, well, I've got it pre-ordered. I've got the collector's edition pre-ordered there for the physical stuff. But
yeah,
I'm caring less and less as this goes on. I just want to do the raid.
Yeah.
Did we discuss the... do we want to discuss the 104 Destiny questions, or...
I thought it was a pretty cool video. I mean, there's not much to discuss there.
Just bring it up. If you guys haven't seen that, I think we hinted on it. The question, what's the face on the strange coin? And the guy said, what, the fifth president of...
The fifth president of the 9, I'm not real sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say the guy, Luke Smith, who looks like a toad.
Yeah.
But he looks like a toad.
It's obvious he likes sandwiches.
Funny video if you guys haven't seen it. Go Google that. Check it out. Pretty funny. It's like rapid fire, not serious. But still, there's some information to be gained.
I'm so glad they did that in a video, not a written interview, because that probably would have turned out bad again.
The main hint of why I want to bring this up was is there a hidden chest in the Vault of Glass? And I believe, I'm not going to paraphrase, if he either said maybe or kind of or possibly, giving us hope there's still something in the Vault of Glass or will be put there. That's why I brought that up. That excites me.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Go back in and scour some more. But I swear there's been a post I saw on Reddit that everything has been found, but it could have been just someone's post.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think right now, as of right now, we're pretty... I mean, it's never confirmed. I don't think you'll ever be able to confirm it, but we're pretty confident that everybody has found everything possible in this version of the Vault of Glass. As long as they don't add something later on. Which now you do know that, have you read that after we finish, they're calling it Act 1 of The Taken King, which is the main story missions and all that. After you finish that, it opens up an Act 2, which now goes into, they said, well, we will have to go back inside the vault, and it pretty much is teaching us about Praedyth. And we're learning about his storyline, because there's not much in there. There's nothing really in there about him that talks about it. So maybe that's what they're meaning by, you go back in there. Maybe, I don't know if you'll have to run the whole raid or if it's like a mission-specific thing, kind of like the House of Wolves mission where we ran in and went down to the Templar's well.
Too bad I can't use his revenge. They're going to make that obsolete for me, though.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's cool to repurpose the raids. I like having two options to go into these raids the regular way or follow whatever path, whatever storyline.
Right.
Gives it more depth. And, as we hype up all the time, the raids are the best part for us. But that gives you more time to go back in, and hopefully the game won't feel repetitive. Which is that was the thing that Triple D was complaining about. And I hope he does have a good time with this. Like, I think we will have a good time with it.
Right.
But who knows? He'll get tired of it, and he'll be taking care of babies anyway. He goes on his...
Yeah, I think he actually might last a little longer on this, because I don't think he'll have as much time to play. So it'll kind of last a little longer.
He's always like, oh, this is fun, I don't like it. Oh, this is fun, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
So hopefully he joins us.
Oh, he will. He's saying he's pre-ordering it, so... We'll see.
Anything else? I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else I can cover.
I think we've covered about all of it.
Well, if we've been rambling to you guys, we apologize. But this is kind of just stream of thought, just talking to each other. We don't really do a news show. You've heard news from other podcasts out there. This is just us having a conversation, and we hope you enjoy just the talk about it. And the reason we decided to make the podcast like that, as we said before, if you're new, if you start talking about this game, the conversation just goes here and there and everywhere. It's just fun to talk about. So we're just a train of thought conversation, not a official news story with cuts of in the latest news like some people do. We're just having a good time. So anyway, well, I guess this will be the end. I'm Cobra. You can find us at Warsat Radio. You can also find my friend Eclipse here.
Wait a minute.
Backing it up.
Nope,
Rewind.
We didn't talk about the gunsmith.
I don't know anything about the gunsmith, so you can talk about it.
The gunsmith's getting its own level.
Really?
Yes, we are going to be able to level up the gunsmith. We are going to run bounties, or not bounties. He is going to give us a weapon to try that are going to... they said it's going to have a specific thing that you have to do with it, kind of like a bounty built into the weapon. And then they're also gonna create. I think they said it's gonna come out Wednesday. They're gonna have something called an Arms Day, where you can buy a gun or a legendary, something that it will roll with a just a random set of perks.
Now that kind of makes sense if we repurpose our weapons, as you mentioned earlier. I was like, how are we going to unlock these perks if they're in older guns? And then now when you throw in a level, I see why we would be using those.
Yeah. And they say that, I think I've read somewhere it said the higher the level, the better the stuff you get from him.
That stressed me out right there. That just stressed me out. More things to do.
But that's pretty cool. The gunsmith is going to become a little more relevant than what he is now. I mean, he got a big jump in House of Wolves. Like, he was the only time you ever went to see the gunsmith was for an exotic bounty before House of Wolves. Now you get to reroll with him and buy the what are the things called? The telemetries. But now he seems like he'll have it even more. A lot more to do in game.
I like it. I think we're going to have I understand why they're giving us so many bounty slots to hold, because there's a ton of crap to carry around as you do it. We'll have to sit down with a pen and pad and write down a schedule.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, well, that's cool.
All right, now we can close the show.
I was going to say you can find us on on Twitter at Warsat Radio. Please follow us. We don't talk a whole lot of news, just interesting stuff between us. Both of us post here and there. You can find us on Xbox Live. I'm SN95 Cobra R. You can find
I am PEFXEclipse.
You can find those names at the Twitter, or on our Twitter. At the top of our header, there's explanation of how you spell those names with spaces and such. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to episode 11. We will catch you out there in the game. Come join us. We'll see you guys later.